evening and welcome to ThaiPBS English News Service. I'm Supajong Sawan. Starting off with the weather, 70% of Thailand will shortly experience heavy rains and thunder showers, and the Met Office is warning 8 provinces in the north and 2 in the south to prepare for flash floods. The Meteorological Department is warning residents in 8 northern provinces, namely Mae Hong Son, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Nan, Lamphun, Lampang, Phrae, Uttaradit, and 2 southern provinces of Ranong and Phang Nga to brace for flash floods due to the heavy rain that will be covering 70% of the country over the next few days. The Andaman coast is going to see even heavier rain. This is due to the active southwest monsoons, which pick up moisture as they pass over the Andaman Sea. Ferries and fishing boats are advised to operate with extra caution. Meanwhile, residents living along the Nan River are evacuating as the water levels continue to rise. In Roi Et and Mahasarakham provinces, at least 54 houses have already been damaged or destroyed by the strong winds. 61-year-old Ampon Tang Nopakun, or Agong SMS, who was jailed for 20 years after violating Thailand's lèse majesté and computer crime laws, died from cancer earlier today. Some wretched protesters say that they will gather in front of the court to demand the release of all who were jailed after violating the country's strict lèse majesté laws.
61-year-old Ampon Tangnopakun, who the media nicknamed Uncle SMS because he was found guilty of sending disrespectful text messages about Her Majesty Queen Sirikit and sentenced to a 20-year prison term, has died in jail a few months into his sentence, his lawyer announced today. This case, last November, triggered a debate about the harsh sentences imposed in Thailand for breaching the lèse majesté laws, which forbid any insult to His Majesty the King, Her Majesty the Queen, or His Majesty the Crown Prince. Around 50 people who oppose Thailand's draconian lèse majesté law gathered in front of the Central Correctional Hospital in Bangkok to mourn Ampon's death. During his trial, Ampon had denied sending the SMS messages to a government official, saying he did not even know how to send such messages from his mobile telephone. 58-year-old Surya Srinapan, a supporter of Ampon, said, quote, "It's strange for people who didn't do anything wrong to have to face this. It's not right. Uncle Ampon didn't even know how to send an SMS. He can only answer and make a phone call. It's not right." Ampon's widow, Rosalind Tangnopakun, said his death has set him free. She went on to say, quote, "Now you have been released. You can go home now." Hugh Adams, ThaiPBS.
Thank you, Hugh. At today's cabinet meeting, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra assigned the Transport Minister to negotiate with the Bangkok Metro Public Company to postpone the increase in subway fares. The PM also instructed the Finance Minister to curb the high cost of living by pegging the price of essential goods. During a break from the cabinet, the Interior Minister and Finance Minister were seen checking the price of food at the Government House canteen.
One of the hottest political issues at the moment is the high cost of living, which the opposition blames on the government, accusing them of breaking their election promise of a better quality of life for the Thai people. Today, the PM assigned the Commerce and Agriculture Ministries to sell commodities at discounted prices at the Blue Flag or Thong Pha shops, as well as to launch cheap goods and food festivals to ease living costs. Furthermore, PM Yingluck has also instructed the Transport, Industry and Interior Ministries to conduct a field survey to research the actual production costs in factories and on farms to compare with the prices in the market. Meanwhile, after the cabinet meeting ended, Yonghyut Wichaidit, Deputy Prime Minister and Interior Minister, and the Finance Minister Kittirat Naranong were having lunch together in the Government House canteen to check the food prices. They revealed that they had spent only 150 baht for 5 persons. Kittirat claims that the high goods prices are in line with the real market and some food prices have increased because they are seasonal. He also asked the opposition not to try putting this issue into the spotlight without accurate and fair information. Additionally, subway fares, which are expected to be increased by approximately 2 to 4 baht on July 3rd, in line with the contract, may not change because the cabinet wants to freeze subway fares by assigning the Transport Ministry to negotiate with Bangkok Metro Public Company in an effort to postpone the rise in subway fare.
The government's Energy Policy Management Committee has agreed to postpone the rise of energy prices of all categories, including maintaining the current price of NGV and LPG, in an effort to ease the rapidly rising cost of living in the country. To help curb the inflation rate and to try to mitigate the rising cost of living, the government's Energy Policy Management Committee has decided to continue the current level of support for the State Oil Fund for gasohol, diesel, and benzene for another 3 months in an effort to maintain the current oil prices. The committee usually contributes 4 baht per liter to the State Oil Fund for benzene, 2 baht 20 per liter for gasohol 95, and 60 stang for gasohol 91 and diesel. Arak Chontaranon, Energy Minister and Chairman of the committee, announced that today's committee meeting agreed to recommend that the National Energy Policy Council keep the NGV price at 10 baht 50 stang per kilogram and maintain the current level of funding for the State Oil Fund for another 3 months. The price of LPG has already increased by 3 baht per kilogram, reaching 21 baht 13 per kilogram, while the price of NGV has risen by 2 baht, reaching 10 baht 50 stang per kilogram. While today's Parliament meeting experienced several disruptions delaying the Constitution amendment process, one of them, which lasted for almost an hour, was when the House Speaker asked Parliament police to escort a Democrat MP out of the chamber. This is the moment when House Speaker Somsakiet Suranon asked Parliament police to escort Wachara Phetthong out of the chamber as he refused to stop protesting about an issue which other MPs suggested were not relevant to the issue being discussed. The dispute ended up with opposition MPs negotiating with Wachara, their fellow MP. This caused around 1 hour delay to the debate on the Constitution amendment currently being considered by Parliament. Another interesting issue is the 240-day deadline to complete the charter drafting process, which the opposition Democrats claim is not enough. Some government MPs are accusing the opposition of killing time to postpone the Constitution amending process, while some opposition MPs are accusing the government MPs of going through all the trouble of amending the law for one individual. The National Intelligence Agency and the National Security Council have addressed policies for solving the unrest in the 3 southernmost provinces, emphasizing the need to protect the residents' lives and property. Meanwhile, representatives of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will make a visit to the region with the hope of putting an end to the constant upheaval. Following a discussion between the National Intelligence Agency, the National Security Council, and Qasem El Masri, the special envoy to the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, Police General Wishen Potposi, Secretary General of the National Security Council, expressed his confidence in the policies for remedying the turmoil in the Deep South. These policies, the implementation of which will be spearheaded by General Yuttasak Sasiprapha, Deputy Prime Minister responsible for national security, will also foster confidence among OIC special envoys as they visit restless region, a move regarded as helping the government's work. The Secretary General of the National Security Council indicated that the OIC acknowledges the problems in the Deep South, which arise from prolonged lift in culture and society. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation believes that the government's peaceful approach, which includes the Politics Leads Military initiative, as well as policies to distribute power and resources, will foster peace and stability and develop locals' living standards, ultimately putting an end to the turmoil. Prior to the meeting, Special Envoy to the OIC met Thailand's Foreign Minister Surapong Tawichakchaikun to hear about the policies of the Southern Border Provinces Administration Center aimed at solving the problems in the 3 southernmost provinces, including the government's compensation scheme and assurance of justice for victims of the unrest. Moving to the border, the Karen leader accused of trafficking drugs into Thailand will tell the international press his side of the story on Thursday this week. Meanwhile, Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamrung insists on going to Myanmar to ask the Burmese government to extradite General NACC. Deputy PM Chalerm Yubamrung will bring with him to Myanmar the arrest warrant for General NACC issued by the Thai Criminal Court in 2003. He will use that and what he claims to be inside information to ask the Burmese government to extradite the current general into Thai custody, insisting that he deserves to be on Thailand's list of the country's top 25 most wanted drug dealers. General NACC's battalion, the current DKBR or Go To Blah, is based along the Thai-Myanmar border near Tak province. His soldiers closed 12 border checkpoints along the border in retaliation for Thailand accusing General NACC of being a top drug lord. Now, the border situation is reported to be back to normal after the Burmese army ordered the Karen soldiers to retreat from the border. However, Foreign Minister Surapong Torichakchaikun admits some small border checkpoints are still closed by the Karen soldiers deployed in the area. Meanwhile, the Karen DKBA or Gobutal is inviting the international press based in Rangoon and Naypyidaw to come to its base and listen to the general side of the story, claiming that their leaders' hands are clean of drugs. The National Anti-Corruption Commission is alleging that high-ranking officials at CAT Telecom have neglected their duty regarding the signing of the 3G contract between CAT Telecom and True Corporation.
After concluding that the 3G contract between CAT Telecom and True Corporation contains irregularities at its meeting today, the National Anti-Corruption Commission, or NACC subcommittee, made an allegation that high-ranking officials at CAT Telecom neglected their duty in signing the deal. The NACC will submit the accused on May 28th and will finalize conclusions sometime in June this year before submitting its findings to the NACC board for a final ruling. Meiti Krongkao, chairman of the NACC subcommittee, indicated that the accusation made against the government officials is in accordance with Article 157 of the Criminal Code regarding negligence or corruption. Moreover, the chairman also revealed that the True CAT deal may violate the Public-Private Joint Venture Act of 1992 and Article 46 of the Frequency Allocation Act. Those who were involved in the signing of the True CAT deal, including the then Minister of Information and Communication Technology, Chalerm, the then President of CAT Telecom, Chirayut Rungsithong, and the Board of Directors of CAT Telecom, have to answer the allegations either in person or in writing within 15 days.
A representative of the advertising agency whose staff fell to their deaths from the Baiyoke II Tower told police that the platform or gondola and supporting equipment was rented from a subcontractor. Following the death of 3 workers who fell from the gondola suspended at the 68th floor of the Baiyoke II Tower and the injuries of 2 more workers who were able to hang on, the HR boss of Q Group Advertising, the company responsible for installing the advertisements on Thailand's tallest building, told police that the gondola and support equipment were hired from another company. The gondola company will also be questioned by police to try to ascertain the cause of the collapse. As for workers not wearing safety gear while working, the HR manager claims that it has always been the company's regulation to wear safety equipment at all times, but in practice, the workers feel less restricted in their movement without the gear attached. Paradon Srichapan, former tennis player for the Thai national team, is confident that in the next 5 years, Thailand will see new rising male tennis stars after lacking strong performing players in the recent years. Paradon Srichapan, trainer of the Thai national team, is now overseeing the coaching of rising male tennis stars at the first round of the ITF Pro Circuit 2012 round-robin matches. This tournament has a total grand prize of $10,000 or about 300,000 baht. Paradon admits that Thailand has been lacking successful male tennis stars in recent years, but believes that the high number of Thai competitors at the ITF Pro Circuit 2012 is a good sign. The Thai national team is striving to produce strong-performing male tennis players over the next 5 years. Paradon believes that more Thais will be among the top 200 best tennis players in the world in the next 5 years. Furthermore, Paradon, who is also the captain of the Thai Davis Cup team, intends to lead the team into the first group of the Asia-Oceania region at the Davis Cup next year, after failing to do so following a loss to Indonesia this year. And that's all the time we have for tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. We'll see you again tomorrow night. I'm Supachon Klinsawan. สวัสดีครับ